Yeah, that's good. Got it.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen
Okay.
and we'll start with the image that I sent to you.
Okay.
And because we'll talk about, the first thing we can talk about is you asked about a shadow.
Yeah.
And so there's lots of different ways to approach it, but I think I know what you want, but I'm going to show you a simple way this is done. So here's a drop shadow behind her, like she's floating against the background.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll show you how I did that. So I'm gonna,
What about if the shadow is on the floor? Can you how to do that if I want to do that?
yeah, just her feet, maybe.
Okay.
Do you want it? Let's see. So I'm gonna, this is drop shadow. Let me start over so I show you how I get there.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just gonna take this out. Okay, so on the layer
Mm-hmm.
that has the dancer,
Uh-huh.
we'll double click on that layer
Okay.
and it will open up a box, and down here it says drop shadow,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and then double click. You click it to turn it on and then double click it to look at the tools
Okay.
to make the adjustments. So if you wanted it on the floor, you could reduce the distance or
Oh.
increase the distance.
Uh-huh.
And I think you want a soft shadow probably.
Yeah.
And it's going to be difficult to get what you want. I'm thinking you just want like her shoes.
Uh-huh.
Is that correct? Is that what you're
Yes.
thinking? Okay. So we'll do it a different way, but this shows you the tools and how to get there
Oh, okay.
if you don't know. All right, so let's turn that off.
Okay.
And then the way I would do it is like this. I would go over here to the marquee tool
Mm-hmm.
and I would make a selection of just this area. Since I want to put shadow under her shoes
Yeah.
and not really anywhere else, just to make it look like she's not floating.
Yeah.
And then you right click it and I say, make a new layer via copy.
Mm-hmm.
So I've copied a layer. And then this layer, which just is her feet, I'll double click on that and do a drop shadow. And you can see how it's kind of floating over there.
Uh-huh.
So now I can move that. That's the opacity. I can move that closer to her feet.
Oh.
And I could make it softer, harder,
Oh.
whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
And then I could make it further away, closer. And then also this angle,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to move that straight up and down so it creates more of a shadow there. And then you want to reduce that with size and maybe get a little somewhere right around. Are you thinking something more like that?
No, I'm thinking of the light is coming from her left right,
Over here?
on the left right, no, on the left side of the screen.
Okay,
Her,
over here.
yeah. So the shadow should be like a project from the kind of a projector from behind her with like maybe something like 60 degree or maybe 30 degrees, something like that, 60 degree or 45 degrees, something like that.
I just moved it to 171 degrees
Oh, okay.
because it's over here.
What if I want the shadow be longer, like a little bit longer and
Yeah, you'd have to paint that probably.
Oh, okay.
This tool is not going to let you do that.
I see.
You can make it bigger, but you can't really make it longer.
Oh,
Uh,
I'm thinking if I uh got her figure, I mean, if I can cut her out, can I copy it and then create a layer, then fill it with black, then
yeah,
transform?
you could, and you don't have to cut her out. So
Oh,
let's go back and do that. So let's get rid of that shadow, and we'll get rid of her feet. But you could copy her.
okay. Oh,
Just copy this layer. So you duplicate the layer,
uh-huh.
and now we've got her copied here. And then we can create the shadow from her. Let's see. Sorry, I don't want the shadow. What I want to do is take her shadow, or this will be the shadow at some point.
Oh,
So I'm going to do image adjustments, hue and saturation,
oh,
turn her to black and white,
okay.
and make her darker.
Ah, oh,
Now she's a shadow,
yeah.
and then I'm
Ah,
going to put her behind
I see.
the other one, and then I can,
Transform.
yeah, I can move her. Now I can also, this is much too harsh, right?
Right. Yeah, opacity. That can work on opacity.
You can do opacity, but you can also do, it's too harsh an edge.
Oh,
So you want to put a blur effect. So you go to filter and you go down to blur
uh-huh.
and Gaussian blur.
Okay.
You know that tool?
Yeah, I know, I know.
Yeah. And then you
Ah,
can,
okay.
and then blur her.
Oh, yeah.
Let me go back and do that again. Sorry. So now the only problem is, where do you want it? How much do you want it? You can reduce the opacity, like you said, and
Okay.
to have a softer shadow.
Okay. I see.
Is that more like what you were thinking?
I'm more like thinking of the shadow gonna be on the ground.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna create something on the supposedly. I mean, I have a couple ideas. So supposedly I want to create a float under her shoes.
Okay.
So make her feel like she's standing on the ground. So that the light shadow gonna be kind of on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, so you may have to draw that with the brush tool.
Oh, okay. But can
And
I use this image and transform and make it like you know, do whatever I want?
you can, so since it's a shadow, it's a separate layer, I can go back and take my marquee tool and put a big feather on it, like for this, a big feather 40 is a huge feather because
Uh-huh.
it's not that big an image. And I can delete part of that shadow.
Oh, okay.
Now I have something that I can move and put it wherever you want it. You could also transform it, the shadow.
Can you
Something.
turn to turn to the right? You know, just like shadow, you did it for the little girl standing on the elephant.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, or maybe a little bit lower, you know. But it depends on how I want it because it depends on where the light's coming from. So
Of course,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And if you
Oh,
want,
yeah, make it look better.
you could cast it wider. But you could transfer that any way you want. I would use
Okay.
distort.
Oh,
That way you can grab any one of these areas and move any corner.
okay. Mm-hmm.
So it depends on how much you want.
Oh, okay, got it. All right, okay. That should work, yes.
Okay. So then, do you want me to show you how I cut
Yeah.
her out and
Yeah.
did the rest of it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's go to the original image. Here's the original image.
Uh-huh.
And the AI tools just in the last year have gotten so much better.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I'd come over here to this quick selection tool. And then it gives me the options to select subject.
Uh-huh.
And since it's going to know she's the focal point. And I'm going to click select subject. And it makes a pretty good selection. Can you see the selection?
Yes, I can.
I can make it bigger if you want.
I can see it, yes.
Yeah. So at this point, it's a matter of trying to decide how to refine it
Okay.
and also how much of this you want at the top where the trees are starting to show through.
Mm-hmm.
I took most of the trees out and then I blurred the edge, and I'll show you how I did that.
Okay.
So the first thing I did was I went to select inverse since I don't want any of the background. And by the way, it won't let you do it unless you see it's locked, the layer's locked.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to double click and just say okay, and it unlocks the layer.
Okay. Or I can I can duplicate that layer, right?
Well, all I'm doing is deleting the layer
Oh, okay.
because you don't want the background.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
And then I'm gonna hit the marquee tool and click off of the selection.
How do you delete your background? You just hit delete key?
How did I create the background?
No, how do you delete that background?
Oh, yes, delete key.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, once the selection's been made, you can just hit the delete key.
Oh, I see.
Then I'm going to go back to the quick selection tool and I'm going to go to a pretty small brush up top here because I don't want any of this greenery.
Oh,
And I'm just going to delete it. This edge, I'm going to have to refine a little more closely, so I'm not going to do that. This, it will try to delete most of that, but it's going to delete too much, so I'm going to not do that. Oh, here's another problem. It showed a line around here. Can you see that?
yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's because I have my feather turned on.
Oh.
So I have to turn it off.
Redo
And
again.
but for now I can just erase it.
Oh.
My opacity is down on my eraser, which you will want to use later, by the way. But anyway.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So I'll just erase that. And then I'm going to take this selection tool, the polygon lasso. And then I'm going to get rid of a few areas. So this area here, and that is a click and drag.
Yeah.
You know how to use that tool?
I know, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And I have a feather of 1 because this is a fairly soft image. For your high res, you may want to use 0 or you can try 1 and see what it looks like.
Okay. Then hit the delete, right?
Keep it what?
Hit the delete key to remove it.
Yes, and hit the
Okay.
delete key.
Okay.
So when it did the selection, you can see there's some shadow under her arm and other
Yeah.
things that you don't
Mhm.
necessarily want. So I'm just going to do a quick selection of that
Oh,
to delete it. And you can do a more refined version.
yeah, yeah.
But I'm also going to come over here and soften out this
Ah, okay.
to make it more like it's flowing in the breeze.
Okay.
So I deleted that.
Ah, okay.
And so that already starts to look a little better.
Uh-huh.
So now here's the real trick. The big trick is to come down here to the smudge tool.
Mm-hmm.
You know this tool?
I know, but never use it.
Okay. It's under, in mine, it's under the blur tool.
Oh, okay.
So you have to hit the little
Triangle.
triangle to get to the smudge tool.
Okay.
And then you'll have to experiment and see what strength. So I have it at 27 right now,
Okay.
and the size is 12. For
Uh-huh.
your high res, it's going to be much larger, maybe
Yeah.
50, and the strength might still be 27. But here's what I'm going to do. In order to soften this edge, I'm going to click up here, and I'm going to drag down along this edge.
Oh. Oh, I see.
And it's a
Okay.
little subtle, so I'm going to increase the strength so it's easier to see.
Ah, okay. Hmm.
And I can change this by pulling it in or pulling it out. And that's what I use to smudge the area.
Okay.
Now I'm going to go up by her hands. And just delete that.
Okay.
And then I'll come back to the smudge tool.
Oh, okay.
See how it makes it flow?
Yeah, yeah.
And it takes care of any harsh edges too. And the hardest part is actually up here at the top.
Yeah.
And so what I did there was I took this and I cut a lot of this out.
Okay.
And it has this kind of swirling curve here.
Mm-hmm.
And I came down along that edge. And I deleted that.
Okay.
And then back to the smudge tool again, and maybe a bigger size. And you can kind of flow it out if you want to, because it'll naturally kind of knock
Yeah.
itself
Oh,
out.
okay. Okay.
And then what I followed it up with is I came back with the eraser tool.
Mm-hmm.
And I did about 50%, somewhere around there, opacity. And then I'm going to erase some of that so that the background will show through.
Oh.
So that's too much, but let's just see what happens when I put a background in.
Okay.
So you know how to add layers and everything?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just going to add a layer and I'll put her on I had her on a blue background, but
How did you get the I like the color you sent to me, you know, the image. How do you get? I try to use the eyedrop tool to
Yeah.
copy the color, but it appear on my screen is different, not exactly same.
I have mine set to Pro Photo Color,
Oh, okay.
so it may look a little different, but let's just see. So I'll go to the image that I sent you,
Uh-huh.
and I keep all my images. I don't keep them as PSDs. I keep them as TIFFs
Uh-huh.
because you still get all the layers.
Okay.
Do you keep your files as PSDs or do you keep them as? how do
I
you-
used to do the PSD, but now I changed to TIFF because I think PSD sometimes gives some problem.
Yeah, TIFF is the best way to go.
Yeah, okay.
So all I do is I click on the existing color, foreground color is called. And then I've got my eyedropper tool comes on automatically. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
There you go. And
oh,
I
okay.
just clicked on it and then
Oh,
that
okay.
gave me that. The other thing that you might consider doing is put a gradient on there,
Oh,
which starts with a darker blue.
okay.
So I'm going to reverse these. And I'm going to go to a darker blue, similar color palette.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little too green. So maybe somewhere in here. Have you used the gradient tool?
Okay.
So this is the gradient tool. I'm on the background and I'm going to start here and go to here.
Oh, okay.
It almost looks like a seamless background
Mm-hmm.
that the light is hitting the floor, right? So it looks
Yes.
more like she's standing on the floor that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go back to your dancer.
Okay.
And I am going to add the foreground. I changed those, that's foreground color now. So I'm going to do edit fill and foreground color.
Oh.
And then I need to move it behind the other layer.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But see how it gave some of that softness? Like
Yeah.
I said, it was too much
Mm-hmm.
that I just did. But you would just use the eraser tool and use less
Okay.
opacity. What else did it? What other tools did
What
it?
about the on her left-hand side, the below the arms, there's the green cross, see, yeah, no, another one.
This one.
Yeah, in the middle, see, that one actually goes through to the background, right? The previous background.
Uh-huh.
So how to get rid of that?
So you're saying this yellow part?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would use the clone tool
Oh, okay, clone out.
and I would clone it out, but I wouldn't use full exposure opacity. I would use less opacity so that I can do a little at a time.
So if I want the background kind of can see through the background a little bit. So how do I do that? Can I?
So I would take, so if you wanted to see some of the background through this
Yeah.
cloth.
Yes.
Okay. So after you clone out all of the trees, then, and you want to see some of the blue through there.
Yeah. Something like that.
So I would do it. I would take this, make a selection around this. And it doesn't have to be perfect because there's nothing here in the other part, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to make a duplicate layer. And I'm going to do layer via cut this time, which is going to put it on a separate layer.
Okay.
Because it needs to be on a separate layer when you use the opacity tool. And I'm going to bring the opacity down. Or do you only want to see, do you only want to see the color in certain areas?
Yes.
Okay. So if you want to do that, then
so okay, go ahead.
I'm going to put that layer back. And then I go back to the eraser tool. And I would, where's my eraser tool?
That one.
Eraser tool, and I've got it set at 49. And my brush, I make it very soft.
Uh-huh.
And my brush at about somewhere here. And then I can
Oh.
brush
Ah, I see. Okay.
an
Okay.
area. That's how I did it on the one
Oh.
that I sent to you.
Oh, okay.
I just came up along this edge so that it would blend in more.
Oh, okay.
And you could do that on the other edge too.
Say if I want to show a little bit in the middle of the cross, how I just so I can still use that erase tool to brush it.
For some of her clothing.
No, yeah, yeah, some of the clothing in the middle of it, because original image is
This edge or something,
huh?
the edge of her clothing or
No, in the middle of the clothing.
in the middle.
Because the original image there is some clothing is kind of
the scarf.
transparent. Yeah.
Yes, I understand. This scarf. But you're saying in the middle here?
No, another side.
Up here?
Yeah, this one here. The down, yeah, right there. Some up a little bit, toward the right, down. Oh, go down a little bit, go down a little bit, go down further. Somewhere there, yeah. For example, yeah, somewhere there.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah, so in that case, I would make my brush small.
Okay.
So I could just show a little coming through there. Now that's going to be too strong.
Okay.
So your opacity has to come down to like, I'm going to try 12.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And you could open it up a little.
Oh, okay.
It's going to take a lot of experimentation.
Yeah.
To see through it.
Mm-hmm.
The one I just did rather quickly.
Yeah.
But the key is,
I got the idea. Yeah.
Yeah, and you could just keep doing that until there was nothing, right?
Yes. Okay.
And the same thing with all those edges.
Okay.
Is your original shot is nice and clear, I take it?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Also notice when you do that quick selection tool,
Mm-hmm.
it made a hole in her dress right here.
Okay. Oh, I can. Okay.
Yeah, you'd have to clone that to fix it.
Okay.
And look and see when you do that original selection, you want to have the default should be a pretty tight edge already. Whoops. It should be, this edge should be fairly hard already.
Oh, okay.
And you can mask it, but it's not necessary. Because it does such a good job. And then you have to decide how much you want to soften the edge or not.
Oh, okay.
And you
That'd
can
be fine. Yeah.
You can do it with a blur tool, or you can do it smudge tool, or
Okay.
The other thing you can do if you want to create layers,
Mm-hmm.
like right here, for example,
Uh-huh.
you could take the clone tool, the opacity down below 50%, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And then come back to, I'm going to increase my brush a little bit, come back here. And I'm going to select that area to start with. And then I'm going to fill that in a little bit.
Ah, okay. Yeah, looks more nature.
Yeah.
I see.
And you can just keep doing that till you get the
Oh,
effect you
yeah.
want.
Okay, got it.
Do you want to look at the smoker?
Not yet. I have a question. Say, if I want to put the a cloud on top of on
Yeah.
on top of the you know where she looking at.
Yeah,
Yeah, somewhere there. Yeah,
up here.
yeah. So I just create a layer, copy the image over, create a layer. Then how do I blend in?
Yeah, so lots of different ways to approach that, but she's on this background already. Then I have a file of clouds already, so I can show you. I'll
Okay.
open my file. And actually, it's easier if I go over here. These are all my files of standard things that I use sometimes.
Oh, I cannot see it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I think issue once you have some texture over there, right? You have some file, you have some folder named texture.
I do,
Yeah.
and I can use those, but let's say I'm just gonna grab one and pull it in here. So you're thinking just one cloud, like
Yeah, just one cloud.
okay. So something like that, is that too big?
Oh, too big. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna cut out the small ones down below, just this one. Is that too
Okay.
big?
How about that little one? The yeah, this one.
Okay. So to start with, I'm gonna do a big feather, like maybe for this resolution, 15 is probably a pretty big feather.
I see.
And I'm gonna go around it, and then I'm gonna say, select inverse. And I'm gonna delete the rest.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll float this up here. Is that too small or,
Oh, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
okay. Now here's an easy trick. And I'll show you. So there's a tool here in the adjustments. So image, adjust, and go down to replace color.
Oh,
I don't know if this is going to work, but let's just see.
oh,
Because the idea is we want to equalize the colors in the background, right?
yes, yes.
So the color I want to replace is right here, this darker blue.
Mm-hmm.
And can you see this replace color dialog?
Yes, yes.
So you want to bring the fuzziness. When I bring fuzziness up on this slider,
Mm-hmm.
it selects too much.
Okay.
So you slide it until you say, okay, that's about right. That takes up most of what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can adjust the hue, saturation, and lightness. So let's try adjusting the hue and see if we can.
No.
That's not going to quite do it. So let's go to lightness. That's going to create some grain if you go too far, but I just want to see. So it's not going to make it easy for us. So I can desaturate it quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, do you know, Eric?
Yeah.
Do you use TK action?
No.
Oh, you don't. Oh, no, that is a luminosity mask. So with the TK action, I can
Sure.
select the crowd.
Yeah.
They select pixel by pixel. You know,
You
that
can
should be
also-
easier, right?
Right. You can also do it in the blend modes.
Okay.
So we could figure out a blend mode that, see that background
The
almost
purple.
all went away now. Can't go that way.
Oh, how about overlay, soft light?
Yeah, let's see.
Mm,
No,
no, yeah, the heart.
yeah. So luminosity could do it, and then adjust your color from there.
Okay.
But you're gonna have to figure out what works best for your eye.
Okay. Okay.
But reduce the contrast some, and then you've got it floating up there. You've just got some shadow now that you'd have to deal with.
Uh-huh.
The other way to do it, of course, is to just remove all that with a selection tool and do a, you're not really,
Wow, that a lot of work.
it can be. That's the only way you could do it before.
Oh, okay.
You could only do it this way a few years ago, but now they've got all these new
Yeah.
tools.
In artificial intelligence tool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was better before.
Mhm.
Anyhow,
Okay.
but yeah, change your masks around or your blend modes around, see what you want to use.
Okay. Okay.
What is this white spot on her scarf here? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's in the image. It's in the original image.
Oh, I probably, yeah. So that's easy to fix. That's okay. I can
Yeah,
crawl out here.
I just noticed it. So,
Okay.
anything else?
Oh, that'd be all. Yeah, that's so suppose I want to add a kind of add a base or ground under her feet.
Uh-huh.
Can I just create another layer, then use a rectangular tool, then fill in with some other color, then put underneath
Could put grass or something.
something like that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be grass. I mean, some different color, because right now the image, by doing this one, the woman kind of floating on the sky, right? So
Yeah.
I think I should give some ground or something to make her look like she's standing on something.
Sure. Yeah. So you could take, I'll show you something. So we'll get her to stand on something here.
Okay. Oh.
So now she's standing on something.
Uh-huh. Ah, okay.
And then you could add your shadow back in. But now I would only probably put the shadow of just her feet.
Yeah, a little bit, yes.
Just
Yes.
a little bit.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look too strange.
Yeah.
And or the other thing you could do is put that gradient in like I showed you on the other one.
Okay.
A gradient in, and that would help a little bit too, to get the two to work together.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay.
But that gives it a little more motion for,
Yeah.
but those are the basic tools. It's just a matter of spending time and
Okay.
deciding really what you want.
Yeah.
Do you know the motion tool? So on a cloud, for example,
No.
filter, blur, and
Motion blur.
motion blur.
Oh, okay.
And then for the cloud, you can do,
Ah, okay.
That's probably too much, but you could do that, or you could do a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's no motion, and then, so you can make it look like it's windy.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. All right, cool.
Okay,
Okay, that's good. Thank you so much.
you're welcome. Do you want to look at the smoker?
Yeah, smoke. Let's see the smoke. How the
Okay. So this one's a lot more challenging.
Yeah, I think so.
But once again, so you don't want any background?
Yeah, for example, I don't want any background. How do I do that?
So we're going to eliminate the background?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So first, double click on the background layer so that it unlocks it.
Okay.
But then we're going to try the quick selection tool again. I have
Uh,
not done anything. I have not tried this image, so
Okay.
I don't.
Erica, let me ask one question. Usually I think a lot of people when they do the when they start to post-processing the image, they always duplicate the layer. So they say they will preserve the original file. So by this way unlock it, will that gonna destroy my original file or anything?
Well, you've always got your raw file, right?
Okay.
So I don't worry about it very much.
I see.
But typically, if I'm teaching a class,
Mm-hmm.
I will say duplicate layer.
Mm-hmm.
And the other reason to do it is that then you can switch between the layers to show the difference.
Okay.
So that way it preserves this one if you wanted to, and you've got the other file. It also starts making your files really huge.
Oh, okay, I see.
Because you've got, 50, 60, whatever megabytes in this image. Now it's double.
Yeah, okay, I see.
But okay, so let's see what it'll do. I don't know what select subject will do, but let's see. Okay, it did pretty well.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead. But I like this smoke that's over here.
Yes.
So there's a trick for that too. So I'm going to select the inverse and I'm going to delete. And I have to turn off the bottom layer because it still shows the background, right?
Yeah.
So there's our smoker. And not too bad. There's a little bit area in the pants and a few places that you'd have to touch up. But so now here's the trick, is that turn on the other layer in the background and go to your clone tool. And we're going to select, I'm on the lower layer now, right?
No, you are on the top layer.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm on the lower layer. And I am going to go with a very soft brush because I'm trying to gather smoke, which is kind of difficult. Anyway, I'm going to come in here and I'm do my, are you on a PC or a Mac?
Mac.
Okay, so you're going to do Option or Control Option, and then click where we want this smoke, right? And then go back to the other layer. And then I'm going to just draw on top of here this smoke.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then we're going to turn it off. And that smoke is there, but I had the opacity down. So let's go back and do that over again. I have to turn my opacity up all the way. So I'm on the lower level. I'm going to select this as my clone area. And then I'm going to go back to the other layer. And then I'm going to draw on top of the area that I already had. And then turn off the bottom layer.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So obviously a lot of refinement needs to be done to keep that But it did a pretty good job of just
Mhm.
selecting it in general.
Yes.
Actually, I'd probably put that on a separate layer, by the way.
Oh,
I wouldn't put it.
how do I put on separate layer?
So I'm going to
Create a new layer?
create a new layer. I'll go back to this layer. My source is right here.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm going to go back to this
Oh.
layer to paint on. And then I'm painting on that new layer.
Oh, I see. So I can just keep this layer as a transparent without filling any color or anything, right?
Right. So you
Okay.
can see here,
Mm-hmm.
you see the blue that showed up
Mm-hmm.
from the smoke. And then we'll turn off the background layer. And then
Okay. Okay.
there's some of the smoke. And so I'd reduce opacity. It's not going to look the same because it's on no background right now.
Uh-huh.
And I'd use my eraser tool and keep the opacity at like 50%. And I would take out the dark areas.
Uh-huh.
And then in order to see it properly, you probably have to create yet another layer and do edit, fill, foreground,
Oh.
put that layer on in between, and then you've got some,
Yeah, yeah.
then
Yeah,
you've got some smoke.
yeah, much better, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So another question is back to the original image,
Yeah.
the top, no, yeah, smoke just the
Oh,
smoke one,
smoke.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
so the on the right on her left hand, there's a woman with a
Uh-huh.
white dress,
Yeah.
I think that's very distractive. So if I want to keep the image, but I just want to remove that woman, is that okay or is that difficult?
No. So that's really easy. So I'll show you. So I'm going to turn him off, that layer that we just put in there. So we just have that background.
Uh-huh.
And let's go back to the quick selection tool again and select subject. So that's going to pick him out of there again.
Uh-huh.
And since do you want the rest of this area over here? Is
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
Just
Only that woman.
just the right side.
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I am going to see there's a plus symbol in the middle of the circle.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to expand the area that I want to keep
Oh.
over here and there and there.
Mm-hmm.
But now this right side is not selected, so we'll have to inverse. So select inverse. And now it's just
Okay.
this side.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would use the Gaussian blur again. And that's too much, obviously.
Uh-huh.
But you could figure out how much you want to take her out so she's not too distracting.
Yeah, but that make the background, the left side and the right side is kind of a
Yeah, they're not going to match as well. You're right.
yeah.
So
But if I use a clone tool, that would take too much work, right?
I'm just trying to think of another way to do it. So let's try. So I have this right side selected and there's no effect on it right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no blur or any, I took all that off.
Okay.
So now let's go to see over here, we have a blur tool.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And let's see if we can just blur her more. And not so much. So maybe I would select her that red on the sign or whatever that is pretty bad too.
Yeah.
So I would probably, you could do something like this.
Oh.
I would clone the background over here
Mm-hmm.
and maybe,
Okay.
whoops. You get the idea,
Yeah, I see. Okay.
but let's see what it does to her. Of course, now this background on this side is kind of strong.
Okay.
It's better without the top half of her, and we don't
Yeah.
know what's the bottom half, so who
But
knows what that is.
but I think I can use the clone tool and
Yeah,
clone stamp tool a little bit, work a little bit. Yeah.
yeah,
I see. Okay.
yeah, just use the clone tool and
I see. Oh,
take
okay.
her out.
Okay.
But you're still gonna need to do something with this wall. back
Or
there.
I can change her dress and less obvious, like maybe black color, right?
You could, it's hard to do with a white selection, but you can
Oh.
try.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So you could try to do the quick selection tool with a small brush and see if you can get just her. What about her head? You don't care about her head or?
I know. Yes. So can I have, so the question for the selection tool is that if I can remove that by, I can remove by that way. Subtract.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the option key.
Okay.
And then you can do image adjust. Let's try brightness and contrast just to see. Not too bad.
Uh-huh.
You'd have to do a better selection, but
I can put more feather on it, so it would be look like a transition would be more smooth.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, fun stuff.
Yeah, okay.
He's
Cool. I
great.
learned a lot. Thank you.
Where did you photograph him?
In the Chinatown, San Francisco Chinatown.
He was just standing there?
Yeah, I was standing there and it was a small aisle, you know.
Yeah.
And I went to a meetup group, and the photographer brought us over there, and that guy just standing there smoking. So he asked him to just as our model. So we just keep shooting. Pretty cool. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what his T-shirt is all about? I know what it
S,
is.
right? The S means the baseball.
Yeah, A's baseball team.
Yeah, but I don't know the
A's baseball cap,
yeah,
and then you can see the bridge in there.
yeah.
So there is a baseball game every year between the A's and the Giants.
Okay,
San
yeah.
Francisco and Oakland.
Uh-huh.
It's called Battle of the Bay.
Oh, okay.
And that's what that shirt's about.
I see. But I don't know why he put on that scarf over there, you know.
Yeah, it's great for the picture.
Yeah, it's great for the picture. Yes. Without that one, this picture is just ordinary. But with that picture is look total different now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
So cool.
make sure you clone out some of the brightness or take out his hair back here altogether.
Oh, okay.
Because I think the judge, if you're going to enter this in a contest, the judge would probably.
Yeah, overexposed.
Yeah, it's overexposed, but you couldn't help it. That's backlit, you know. But I would take it out.
I see. Okay.
I would clone it out.
Okay. But I submitted the image. I took this image many years ago. I submitted, but I got picked. I forgot what kind of rank, but
Oh, okay, but
I won. Yeah,
it won something.
even though without doing anything, you know.
Oh, okay.
These guys still pretty cool anyway.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, it's just like street photography, you know. You don't have to take out everything. So
no.
yeah.
Have you tried it as black and white?
No, never. I think we can try to see how that look like. Not too bad.
Not too
And
bad.
we can darken the background to make it more stand out.
You could,
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I've still got that layer with the blue smoke on it.
Oh. But I can use a brush and then brush out those these light area.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
it looks pretty cool in black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or color.
Yeah.
Or black and white for the background and color for the
Oh,
foreground.
yeah. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, you just use original selection, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I just select him out, then just darken the background. That's it.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. That look much better actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
The background is less distracted.
Right. Yeah, you don't, because it's all black and white. He jumps out.
Yeah. Huh.
Although it might be cool to put some of that smoke back in.
Yeah.
It's less blue though. It's move the opacity down. Whoops. Wrong layer.
Down there.
Move the opacity down.
Ah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
just a hint of that blue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
looks good.
Yeah, I like it.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much. I mean,
You're welcome.
yeah. Thank you. I learned a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, try those tools and look at the recording and
Okay.
you'll find it works well. It's a lot of experimentation.
I know. Yeah. Okay. And a lot of patience.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you know what? Help me with one thing.
Okay.
So if I say Ling Kuo, that probably isn't exactly correct, right?
Lingkuo is okay. Yeah, that's correct.
That's how you would say it in
Yes.
Chinese?
Yes.
Ling
Lingkuo.
Kuo?
Yes.
Okay. And why is it hyphenated?
I don't know. It's kind of tradition in Taiwan. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe I don't need it. Some people doesn't put a hyphen. Some do, because in Chinese name we have 3 character. You know.
Yeah.
So we don't have really you call first name last name. So in order to do the first name last name, so we use the not other than the last name, we use the first name with the 2 Chinese character together.
Okay.
So that's why we put a hyphen. Actually, it's 2 character in Chinese.
Yeah.
Some people just remove that. Some people just remove that hyphen.
Yeah. So a friend of mine was from Hong Kong, and when he was growing up in school, everyone had to take an English name.
Yeah.
And so he was William, and I asked him why he chose William. He said he didn't choose William. He said when he went to 3rd grade, where they made you take an English name, the desk said William.
Oh.
So that's
so he just picks that one.
all the desks in the room were names of authors. This was William Shakespeare.
Oh, I see.
So he only took the first name, not the
I see.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have a lot of friends. They came from Taiwan. They also pick the English name, but I don't like it because you know, there are too many John, William, Paul, Frank. You know.
Yeah.
But I want to differentiate with other people, so that's why I didn't pick out any English name.
Yeah. Well, it pronounces perfectly in English, if that's correct, linguo.
Yes, yes.
But I think a lot of Americans would be afraid to try to pronounce it. So
Actually,
that,
it's correct. Yeah,
because they don't want to insult you, right? So they
it's
would,
okay. There's no problem at all.
yeah,
So that's why, excuse me. That's why I ask people just call me Ling. Be easy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's it's an interesting name. It's not Bob or Mike or John.
Yeah. Too popular.
Yeah. All right. Let me know if you have any questions, but I like this image. It's really cool.
Yeah. Okay. I try to convert the background to black.
Yeah, I think that'll help it a lot.
Yeah.
And maybe take some of the highlights down on his arms
Mhm.
and definitely fix the hair, but everything else looks good.
Actually, I kind of like his hair. Because
Yeah,
look kind of very different.
you would probably just have to go to the layer, not the background layer, but
Uh-huh.
his layer, and maybe maybe try to darken it with the
Dodge and burn tool.
burn tool. Yeah,
Mhm.
maybe try to put a little on there to reduce it.
Mhm, mhm.
Oh, you know why it's not reducing is because it's in the layer below too.
Oh.
You'd have to cut it out of the layer below,
I see. Yeah.
and then you could do it. But all right, well,
Okay.
good luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, take care.
Okay. Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, so will
Yeah.
you? Oh, you can stop recording now.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
It will automatically stop.
So where are you gonna put the image? The recording.
I will send you the recording. It takes a while to process
Okay.
because this lasted about an hour or so.
No problem. No problem.
I'll send it to you tonight or tomorrow. I'll put it on a YouTube for you.
Okay. Okay. No problem. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Take care.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.